Hey everyone, it's Amber from Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm coming to you a little bit early this week. I was looking around on the Halloween posts that were coming out because I'm super excited. And Misty over at the Book Rat is doing a Hell of Halloween event, and she's doing like vlog responses and vlog topics. So I decided to join in this week. Hers was on villains, like favorite villains, and I thought it was really fun. She did a really intelligent vlog on that, so you should check it out. I'll post a link down. But this is my response. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about my favorite villains. She mentions this last, but I'm going to mention it first. She says you can't have a villains list without Voldemort in Harry Potter series. And I'm going to disagree because I'm going to go ahead and say Voldemort was alright, but I think the scariest villain in this book, hands down, Bellatrix. Bellatrix Lestrange. Because that lady is crazy. Like, she believes in what she's doing, and she will do anything for her cause, and nothing is more scary than that. Everything, there are no rules. Everything is there. Torture kids? Sure, even if it is Hermione, the best character in here. Besides Neville. But yeah, so she's like crazy.com. So she's like my all-time favorite villain. Bellatrix. I've also got two dystopians to talk about, because they both have really good villains. I've got the Hunger Games series by Susan Collin and Divergent by Veronica Roth. And the reason I'm lumping these together is because their villains are very similar. President Snow in the Hunger Games series is freaking creepy. I mean, you read the blurb about this book, and it's about kids going into a Hunger Games like to kill each other, and you're like, what kind of person runs a society like this? And then you meet him, and it all makes sense. He smells of blood and roses, and ooh, I don't know, he's creepy. And then same with Divergence leader. She's very intelligent, and the reason that I lump these both together is because they both truly believe that what they're doing is making a better world. And that is super creepy because you can understand it a little bit. With Snow, for me, I really felt uncomfortable in the last book, Mockingjay, when Katniss started understanding his reasoning. Like, he became not such a bad guy, and that was really scary. Like, nothing bothers me more than thinking about that last scene where Katniss was going to kill him, but instead she kills Gray, and just hearing him laughing and he's dying, and even at his weakest moments, he is still so evil and manipulative. If I can say that word. But yeah, so that's why I lump these guys together. I wanted to do a supernatural one, so I picked Bad Girls Don't Die by Katie Alexander, and it's a doll. It's an evil doll. Like, the girl's spirit possesses her sister Casey and makes her do crazy, scary things, and she's got this creepy doll. I don't know if there's anything scarier. And then in the end, we've got her in the attic, and the doll's talking to her. She's like, why do I want to burn it? Why? And you're like, no, do the right thing. But then, I mean, she does, but still, it's super creepy. So, if you're looking for a scary read, Bad Girls Don't Die. Great villain. Next up, I have A Great and Terrible Beauty by Lilla Bray, the Jimmy Doyle series. The reason this one creeps me out is because you know that Cersei's is evil. Like, you get this great description of her in the beginning, and it's terrifying, and she's like this big monster. But then you find out who she is. And Mrs. Moore, you love her. She's like the cool teacher. She's so relatable. You want to root for her, and then you find out she's Cersei's. Ooh. So I thought this was a great, like, hidden villain. If you haven't read the series, you should. And then I've got Anna Dressed in Blood, the Ouija Man. You know that something terrible is happening in this book. You know that there's going to be a good villain, but it's really hard to figure out who it is. And then he comes down and he killed the cat, and he's like twiddling with the tail on his hands, and he's got his sewed up eyes, and it's just creepy.com. And he's so powerful, and I think that's what makes it really scary, because these characters with the exception of Anna, are human, and they're working against this supernatural force that you can't reckon with, really. So, if it wasn't for Anna, they'd have been in trouble. And then the next two I chose as, I don't know, the last one is, I think, maybe the all-time most scary villain I've read. But we'll go with this one first. It's a little different. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. And I'm going to go ahead and say Mara Dyer herself as a villain. It's interesting because you don't really hear it often, but her biggest adversary is herself in this. You don't know if she's crazy or not. And that's really scary for a villain. I mean, there's no face to put to it. And you're always questioning whether she's good or not. And you want her to be good because you really like her, but you just don't know. So I don't know. I think that's really scary for a villain. Sometimes not having a face and not seeing the person makes the worst kind of all. And my last villain that I want to talk about is, like I said, I think it's the worst I've seen in fiction. Because it's real. Living Dead Girl by Elizabeth Scott. I don't know if any of you know about this book, but it's about a little girl who's taken when she's 5 or 6. And now she's 15, and she's still with the person that takes her, and he rapes her, and he threatens to kill her family. So she's with him every single day, and he kind of turned her from this innocent girl into kind of a hateful character. And the reason I chose this as my top villain is because it could happen. It does happen. It's a terrible, terrible reality, but it's also true, and that's really scary to me. I mean, as a little girl, she believes that he can kill her family, so she stays with him. And, I mean, some of the scenes in here are really, for being such a short book, are really graphic, and it's terrible. So he doesn't really kill people, but he kills their spirits. And I think that's the worst villain I've read so far. So that's my stack of villains. I was a little unintelligible, but I meant it. So if you're interested in doing this, you should do a response post. And like I said, I'll link it down below for Halloween. And I will see you in my mailbox.